Yo, yo, yo. What up, everybody? It's your boy, DJ Superfly, Ivan. I'd like to introduce myself. Hopefully, everybody can hear me. I'm going to do a quick sound check because we're kind of doing this at the last minute. So I wanted to do a live video of the Rane One, as you can see right here. But first, I'd like to go with introductions. Again, my name is Ivan. We got Kyle. He's back there doing some stuff, with this in a Big Bang stage. We also got Lady P. This is her actual controller. She ended up buying it. Where'd you buy it from? From NFLX Pro? Cool. And they shipped it right away. So I know there's a bunch of people out there that have been using, your own supplier, your own whatever, and hopefully everybody's satisfied with whoever you go with, because that's the ultimate goal, is to get everybody, your hands on the controller. So without further ado, I guess we'll start with this awesome controller. So it was a funny thing because when Jasmine, I like to call her Jasmine because I went to high school together with her, she handed it to me and it was freaking heavy. This thing is freaking heavy. It weighs as much as a turntable, honestly. It's pretty heavy for those people that have been, wondering about the weight and whatnot. So I really don't recommend getting a flight case for it. Maybe a soft case. Maybe a soft case, because this is freaking heavy. I mean, if you got the muscle to get a flight case, it's all cool. You can go ahead and do that. I personally, if especially because she's a girl DJ, and with her, she actually injured her hand today, so she was struggling bringing it in. So I can imagine with her having issues. But as far as the Rane quality goes to, this thing is, it's spot on. It literally is, for the many DJs that have followed the Rane brand for years. I mean, I've been a Rane fan since the 57, 56, and that honestly just changed my mind about everything, because I wanted to make sure I stuck to a mixer, a DJ mixer that was always reliable and had that build quality, and of course the Rane customer service. But I want to give a quick shout out to everybody watching on the Rane 70 group. It's one of the groups that I had started, last year when the 70 came out. It grew quite substantially in the past few months. It's all because of this controller. So if it wasn't for this controller, we wouldn't be here giving you this presentation. I know everybody's dying to get one, for the reason being that, they're low in stock, or, with the pandemic and everybody's having, hard times getting their hands on the Rane One. But we have it here. She's had it for a few weeks already, and she's messed with it. And honestly, this is my first time looking at it, and this thing is humongous. This thing's got I don't know, it's built like a tank. And all my Rane people know what I'm talking about is the specifics of having a Rane, that you're gonna have that nice aluminum metallic feel all around. Jeez. So I'm as surprised as you'll be whenever you purchase it. So I know if people have been, debating on whether buying it or not, and just staying in the fact that the Rane One is more like a starter controller, for people that are looking maybe to learn how to scratch, because it's got jog wheels and everything like that. So I think it's a good starter controller / scratching controller. I know Jasmine had mentioned it, that she wanted to learn how to scratch a little bit more, so this is perfect. And, it's got the rotating. Oh, yeah. Sorry, you might hear the noise right now. You might hear, or you might want to get into the fact that it's got spinning splatters. Sorry guys, this stupid mask gets in my way sometimes. I'm just going through over the stream. Sorry, give me one sec. I can hear myself, so it's kind of annoying. Okay, I got it. Sorry. So again, this thing is, to me, looks like a mini Rane 70 Yeah, mini Rane 70 with the small platters, and the platters are actually humongous. They are pretty big. They literally, I mean, I got, semi big hands, and I can pretty much scratch with these cool little records. I've been seeing people having problems with the vinyl come warped. Did you notice anything? I've seen some people complaining there on the group that they've been getting their vinyl warped. It's like either too much heat was placed on it or it got damaged. Somebody posted recently about that they had contacted Rane and they ended up sending them a brand new one. So if you're having issues with whatever problems with your controller, go ahead and give Rane a call. So another thing, like I said, Rane has been a big supporter of DJs with their customer support. I know with them being, purchased by InMusic, changed the game a little bit, but they're still helping the DJs out, from what I hear. So yeah, holy moly! Sorry, I'm moving the whole table. So I'm just going through the whole process of, trying to figure out if I want one, because I think I might, after seeing it the first time, I might want this little portable scratch, however you want to call it, because I think it'll fit perfectly for to-go gigs. I think it's definitely a really cool device. So that in mind, put it in your head that this controller doesn't have the functions as many of the big mixers as, like the S9, the 70, 72, because I get a lot of people asking, there's no dedicated sampler volume, or a mic where you can apply some echoes. It's got two mics. There's two in the front area over here. You can control the levels low and high, so which is cool, and you can control the aux in, which if you want to route some audio in, you can do that, but there's no option for effects for either the sampler effects or the mic effects. So just take that in mind, because I do see a lot of people asking that question in the forums, the fact that, how do they get access to that? And the only way to do that is through Serato. So you got to go through an internal Serato settings and fix it through there. The mic still won't work with effects, so just put it out there that it does not work with that. And I kind of want to go through the kinks of what, people have been telling me or posted on the group as into, what are the major issues they have. And I think one people like that have not actually had their hands on it don't realize that how big it is. This thing is huge. And they think that, a 10-inch platter, this is I think a 7 and 7.2. I can't remember what the size of the platter is, but it's pretty big. It's like an NS7 type of deal. It is humongous. You necessarily do need, actually you don't need a bigger platter, because just by playing with it, I can definitely tell that I can scratch, and I'll show you in a bit. I got Serato hooked up to it, so you'll be able to hear it in a bit. Dude, it's like shiny. We got light shining on it, so it's like shining back up on me. So if you guys have any questions down in the chat, please make sure you ask, and I'll try to get to those questions in a bit. But I'm gonna have this video recorded and posted on my YouTube channel and on the page, so that people can go back to it. And if they have any questions or whatnot, they can just go through there. But let's go down to the first thing, and let's talk about the sound card. So the sound card, the tech specs of it is necessarily, it's the same as the Rane 70 and 72. So this has the same sound card as the 70 and 72. So what does that mean? For high-end mixers that have the capability of, using two computers, if you want to mix, switch off DJs, which is a Serato feature, you can bounce back between DJs. You have the same specifics of, what do you call it here? It is, well, I gotta look at specifics on the website, so give me one sec. And my glasses are fogging up, of course, because I'm talking so much. So the digital audio, it is the same 24-bit, 48 kilohertz. It's still got the digital processing of 32-bit, which is again the same as the 70 72. The range of the audio, from what I understand, is back in the days, Rane made up this pretty cool idea of quasimeters. So that means that if you're in the red, if you say you pump up the level all the way to like 10 or whatnot, and you put your meters up to red, it won't distort your audio. You won't hear none of that distortion. It will just sound really loud. But you know, like the really old school mixers where if you were to turn it up, you'd hear this nasty distortion. I know Denon, some of the Denon and Newmark mixers have started adding some of that features. And again, once they got purchased by Rane, they get to share their ideas and their tech together with them. But having me personally deal with Rane mixers for so long, I've also messed with, you know, and I'm not trying to put Pioneer under the bus because everybody's got their own, how do you say, their own flavor or their own personality or whatever they like, you know. And I've just been a fan of the Rane specifically for that reason, because of the sound card. I've been to numerous clubs where people ask me, you know, your mixer sounds so good. Did you add any filters or compressors or anything like that? No, honestly, it's what's built in it. It's because of the sound card that makes it what it is. So I'm not gonna go specifics into the software part of it because I think Serato and people, reviewers out there have a lot of those videos out there. So there's thousands of videos. So if you want to go ahead and jump into the software, go look at their stuff. I'm just trying to post or say stuff that I've seen on post on the Facebook group, because I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. And I'd like to thank everybody in the group. You know, we're almost to 5K members in that group. So Rane 170, that's what it's called. It's on the big LED screen. And again, big shout out to Big Bang Companies for letting us use this studio. This is one of the Livestream studios they got here in town. They let me use it for a bit. Again, we got Kyle back there doing stuff with the lighting, so he's messing with stuff. Anyways, big shout out to everybody in that group, because without you guys, you know, we don't hear none of this feedback or input. You know, a lot of it is trying to be constructive with the positivity and the feedback, because I want people out there to realize that, you know, there is a community to help each other out. And this is what I've always wanted, is to have a community to help everybody out. So yeah, big shout out to you guys watching in the group. If not, go join the group, Rane 170. I highly recommend it. So let's move on to the next thing. And I'm just going to start from the top to the bottom, and I'm going to try to go as quick as I can, because, you know, I don't want to be here forever either. So everybody that realizes they have a big 12, they notice it kind of looks the same. It's just smaller. Like, they just minimized it, smaller to a point where they made it fit under the platter. Now, for the price point, I think they hit that right amount, because for each 12, how much is each 12? I think it's like $800 for each one. If you can imagine buying two 12s, that's automatically $1,600. And that is a lot. And then that's without the official mixer. You know, that's going to add another close to $2,000 to it. So you're looking close to freaking almost a $2,800 setup. So this boxes it down to $1,500. How much was it? I think $1,500, right? That's how much it's running for. $1,500. And to me, because they minimized everything and put it on a smaller platform, it just means that they're able to sell it for less. And people think, oh no, it's cost too much, or the fact that you know, that Rane put in their hardware and their, you know, it's not just the platters, but rather the whole sound card and everything in the minimized version of it. It just works. It works is great. I haven't heard any people having many issues with, you know, Serato or the drivers. Big thing that I've heard is don't update to Big Sur yet, because Serato's having issues. So if you have a Big Sur installed in your Mac or whatever, Windows, do you use Windows? Yeah. Windows is, you know, it's all around. So Windows is pretty easy to code for. So they come up with the drivers real quick. It's Mac that has the issue because of security issues. But anyways, like I said, we'll start from the top, and it's got the same search bars as, you know, as the Rane 12. The motor, if you want to mess with the motor, how the stop time, if you want it to be slower or faster, and same stuff with slip. You can actually turn the motor off if you wanted to. Reverse sensor, so you can also reverse and censor. I don't have a track in there. The slider bar feels pretty cool. And this is a symmetric setup, so it's not asymmetric. Am I saying that right? It's to the point where it's the same on each side, so you don't get confused. I know there's some mixers that have the pitch slider on this side and the pitch slider on this side. I know with the Denon SC, I can't remember, Denon MC 7000, it had it separate. It had the slider on this side and on this side. DDJs, I don't remember. I think it's kind of like this, where it's a symmetric design, where the fact where the start buttons are, you know, outside and not one here, one on the inside, which is cool. So again, the Platters, they feel amazing. They're pretty big. To me, they feel, it's like a standard 12. It's just a miniaturized version. The platter moves. It feels like a little turntable. I don't know if everybody's seen the Bismarcky, those specific those 7-inch turntables that he's got, those specifically made for him. If you haven't, look it up. He's got this really cool Techniques 7-inch turntables that he mixes, you know, those small records, and it feels the same, but except the fact that the platter is like, how do you say it? It's like a pyramid, you know, on the side, you know, on the, like a Techniques, where you're able to like put your finger when you're mixing, right? It's got it like, it's a wider, so you can actually get under there, and, you know, if you're trying to mix, you're mixing, you know, the old school way, how DJs used to make with records. You can just, instead of using the pitch bends, you know, the buttons here, you can also use the pitch bends here, or you can do it with the spindle. I haven't mixed with it yet, but it's pretty sensitive, so I'm barely pushing it, and it's moving quite a lot, so you can see there. In case you didn't know, Jasmine, you can do that. That's the whole point of it, too. It's just like turntables, literally. And it's just like a smaller version. It's just got that wider platter feel, which is pretty cool. I haven't taken a look at the platter here. So people, they also sell the butter rugs for this now, and this actually feels pretty good. Yeah. Ooh, it's pretty heavy. Holy moly. This is a legitimate, a mini Techniques platter. It's heavy. Now, I've dealt with turntables that, like, the metal is really thin and they bend, and they end up scraping the surface part of the base. But this is sturdy. This is like thick. It's pretty, holy moly. And it just goes right on the thing there, if I can find the damn holes. Might take a while. Oops. There you go. Got it. Yeah, it feels nice. I like it. And like I said, if you're looking for, you know, butter rugs and whatnot, I think they started selling some of the specific ones. These are the actual 7.2 inches. So this will fit all the way closer to the end rim there. If you were to get just the standard 7-inch ones, you're gonna notice like a big difference. They'll be sticking out to like right there, so it wouldn't really help. So you gotta find the butter rugs, or just make your own. Just basically cut it to, you know, put it on the old butter rug and just trace it with the record they come with, and just cut it from there. And then they got the quick adapter, which they do sell separately. So if people were wondering, you know, if they wanted to use their own records or make their own records, you can't do that. You just drill the 3 holes in the back. I don't know if you can see it there. So it's got 3 screws. That's what's holding it together. And just the other side is just the grip. It's all right grip. It feels like a record. It's like a heavy record too, where it won't break, but it's got a, does it snap? You know if it snaps? Oh, no, yep. It snaps into place. You have to like move it around. There we go. So it doesn't come off. Nice. Okay. So there you have it. Next up is the slider. It feels pretty good. I'm in Serato here, so I'm gonna go ahead and look to see in Serato if how much the slider goes up until. Yeah, I got a load of song. My bad. So it's plus 8, minus 8. Plus. I gotta feel it. Sorry guys, I'm just going through it and just messing with it because I'm looking to buy one myself. So it's got the snap on the 0 pitch there. It snaps. So it feels like techniques where, if you're mixing, by hand, you can do it. And it's going to be super responsive because, a lot of the mix DJs I use, records with needles, a lot of the those guys tend to, be nudging up and down with the pitch bend. But now you got a dedicated MIDI controller that does it automatically. So you don't have to be budging in and out a lot. This will automatically the drift is what I'm talking about. You won't notice the drift with this. It feels good. Yeah, I like it. The knob feels like a Technics 1200 too. It's pretty big and tall. Of course, you can change the range if you wanted to. Pitch bend is down here. So people that are interested in the pitch bend, yes, you can also do that instead of what I was doing. The pad section. So now that's important because, the people that are used to the big, the Rane mixers, what they notice is the Akai, right? It's got the big Akai pads, and these are actually a little bit smaller. So I'd say for a controller, they're okay. They're an okay size. They're still sticking up, like with the Rane mixers that they have out there. They're sticking up quite a lot. So if you were to put a skin on top of it, you would be able to still hit it and detect and feel that it's a legit pad here. So they're sticking up. They got the whole hot cue, save loops, roll, sampler, slicer, settings up here, and the new feature is the scratch bank, which everybody's using now with the Rane mixers. And I know the S11 was the first one that started with the whole thing, but I always knew it was a Serato feature, not necessarily a mixer dedicated feature. So I think it might work with the NS7s. I'm not sure. I don't have any. Maybe the people out there that do have them might tell you. That's just my assumption. So I mean, they feel good. Like there's a little click to it too. You can feel the click. Like it's not like where it's just a plastic and you just press it, and there's no bounce back to it. There is a click to it. So that bounce back is nice to have because it actually gives you that confirmation that you're hitting your cue points. Yeah, it feels good. I like it. You know what? Actually, a little bit better than the Rane 72, which I have. It might be because I've already pretty used it so much that I don't feel that bounce back. That feels good. The start-stop button, similar to the Rane's 12 controller. It's humongous. So people get confused that if they're scratching, they're gonna tap on it. I haven't necessarily practiced it yet, but I can tell that there's a significant distance from here and there, and it's not stopping. You have to physically press it all the way down. Like that bounce back feature I'm talking over here is the same way. So I can be crab scratching here. It won't stop. I'd press it harder. If you press it down hard enough, it'll stop it. So if you're scratching or doing some beat juggling, yeah, I don't think I'll ever hit that. That was my biggest concern, is the fact that I thought that I was gonna, or having big fingers, that I was gonna press that start-stop button, but no, there is a significant distance from there, so it is pretty dope. And the fader, of course, I'll get to that in a minute, but these are my first impressions as well, so I'm trying to go through with what I have now, okay? It feels good. So like I said, if I'm juggling, if I'm beat juggling, so for example, I'm gonna play this one, and I'll set a demo later and see if I can try to see if I can hit that start-stop button. Whoa, these are I don't know. These are very, very, very cool. Like, I have not experienced something this small because I'm so used to stepping. You know, those big jugglers, DJ jugglers, that when they're mixing, unless they have their mixer like super close to each other, but with me having the Rane 72, it's a little bit bigger. So with that, you know, you have to have more of a distance to moving, you know, to when you're beat juggling. Now with this, I'm barely moving, so it feels good. It avoids from having that, so it feels good. And I have not hit that start stuff button by accident, so for people that are wondering about that, yeah, don't worry about it. It is safe distance. Unless you got like, you know, huge hands, you know, you're a 6 foot or taller dude. Yeah, I don't know. No? Yeah. Yeah, Jazzy is pretty big, so she's pretty tall. She's taller than me, and yeah, she doesn't hit it, so that's good to hear. We'll go down again with the sound card. I mean, it's very simple. It's not necessarily a pulse fader. You know, everybody thinks that it's got the same effects. It's got the same sound card, but it doesn't have the same effects, the internal effects. Now, the effects from here are routed in from Serato. So Serato is going to handle all the effects part of it, send it into the mixer, and send it up to the main mix. Which is, you know, standard for, you know, a starting controller. And I think Rane did that to avoid, you know, adding more price to it, because if, you know, having those pre-fader effects onto a small controller like this would probably add a little bit more money into the purchase price, probably another $200, $300. So I think that's one of the reasons why they decided not to add it is to avoid that. And, you know, they got a lot of stuff to fit under there. So me being how I am, I like to take everything apart. And no, I'm not going to do that here, so don't worry. I like to take everything apart and study the insides. So I know that if there's products that are going to fail or whatever, because when you make an investment, you want it to last for so long, right? You want it to last, you know, years and years. And you want to make sure that everything is good and there's nothing, you know, bad in there. One of the things that when the first 12s came out, there was that issue where there was a specific sequence you were to hit or shift play, I can't remember what it was, and they would start glitching. I think they learned their lesson. They're able to update the firmware through the sound card inside so that it doesn't happen ever again. Because, you know, that's one of the bad things when you buy a product that's barely released. Sometimes, you know, there's not enough testing for it, and, you know, they just sell it like crazy, and then just people start having problems because they just never, you know, test it, send it out for testing to their artists and whatnot. So yeah, cool. So sound card, like I said, the effects are more of a Serato feature. You can trigger them through the paddles here, which is, you know, it feels just like the Rane 70, 72 paddles. You can't flip them around, from what I've heard. You'd have to, I don't know, people haven't really taken it apart to see if they can do that, but I don't think they do that, because, you know, I like having it the other way. I like having it so that it locks down. Right now it's locking up, so it's just pretty normal however mixer has it. So pretty cool. Effects, got the main section here, and you're able to switch between two DJs, have line A and then have line B. So that's up here. It's a very basic sound card. Again, you don't need that much of in my opinion. Like when I'm mixing, I don't really use a lot of that stuff if it's a 4-channel mixer or whatnot, because, you know, who's gonna be mixing, you know, 4 decks at a time? I mean, you gotta have 4 actual decks. If you're doing that, it's fine, but, you know, who's actually listening to 4 decks at a time? That's only if you're like producing or having some type of really cool, how do you say, production thing going on live and all that. So yeah, what else do we got? So in the front, I mean, I don't want to bend the cables there. We got headphones. We got both kinds of headphones, the 1/4 inch and the smaller one, 3.5 Q levels. So your Q mix, your split is off in the front. Your crossfader contours on the front. Your deck contour as well. And you got 2 mic channels. So mic 1, so it's just a mic section, and mic 2/aux. So that's where you're allowed to bring in an auxiliary input, which right here. Here it is. I don't know if you guys can see it, but you can use both. You can use a 1/4 inch or a combo, or you can use RCAs. The crossfade, I'll get to the crossfade in a bit, but I know people have been asking, does it feel with the innovator? Yes, they're working on it. It does work. It's just the way it's designed. They gotta like create an L bracket so that the actual fader is sticking sideways, because I don't know if you guys have seen the innovator. It's pretty big, so it wouldn't necessarily fit inside. They have to kind of bend it out, create a little bender. I think that's what they call it, some type of bender to be able to do that. Yeah, I mean, to me, it looks very, like a to-go type of thing where if you don't want to bring your big turntables, if you don't want to deal with the excess amount of weight into the load in, load out, as many wedding DJs, mobile DJs, corporate gigs, and stuff like that. It could be a club mixer too, because if you're always moving stuff, you don't need all the extra whistles and bells. I think this is perfect. If you're like a dedicated scratch DJ where you like having all that stuff, then good for you. I think that's just gonna add more, load in, load out time, and it's more weight too. Especially with this is heavy, man. Like I said, that was my first impression, was holy moly, this thing weighs as much as a turntable and a half. Let's put it that way. Turntable and a half. So I'm gonna go ahead and just start playing with it. You know what? Like I said, if any of you guys have questions or whatever, hit me up on the chat. Like I said, I'm just gonna record this so that I have something to go by later in the future. And we have, again, Kyle. Kyle said he purchased his today, or not today, sorry, when it first came out, but he's just waiting on it. I got my headphones in, so I just want to make sure I get to hear whatever you guys are hearing. Yep, you can hear it. So give me a sec, guys. I'm just setting up so that. All right, let's see. Cue mode. I'm just setting up a loop here so we can get it, and I'm just gonna scratch. I have to set my loops correctly because I'm just doing everything on the fly. Again, that's why I got the name DJ Simplify, because I'm pretty much I like to do stuff on the fly. Cool. And I hope you guys can hear it. If not, how does it sound? Why? Hold on. So I got a message here quick from Stefano. It says, why when holding platter from stop and press Q, you listen a beat in headphone? Oh, no, I'm trying to set up the loops. I'm not trying to do that. So again, that's another cool thing, about this is when we're setting up manual loops and stuff, which is what I'm doing because I don't have a beat to loop off. So I had to create a loop manually, and that's what I'm doing right now, is setting that loop. Now, we're getting up. I'm trying to set it up here so that I can do a little scratch session. Also, I don't want to make sure you guys are getting a really loud mix. So sorry guys, like I said, I'm just going through this stuff and setting it up. Like this is my first time actually messing with it, so you know I have to set up my cues and my scratch tools and all that, so that way I have it incorrectly. Okay, all right, I might have it down to where I want it. So what I'm noticing, sorry, let me turn down a bit. The distance from what you're used to, from, you know, let's say you have a 12-inch record, is, you know, I'm used to having my hands on the outer platter for the reason when I'm doing slower scratches, right? And, you know, it's coming out for me, and I consider more of a turntablist because I like to scratch, right? And I noticed when I said, you know, when you're practicing your hand movements and whatever on the actual records, the slower you want your scratches to be, you know, you'd have to move it out because of the distance from, you know, center of gravity to out, right? And that's just in my scientific terms. But when it comes down to this, I lose that function. So it almost seems like you have to micro manage your center of gravity, if that makes sense. So you have to literally just have smaller movements, if that makes sense, because I know there's DJs out there that like to scratch on the inside part of it, and you know their wrist, and they're used to that. they have that specific that liking technique down or whatever, and I don't. Mine is always in the out because I like to scratch really slow. So when I'm like, let's say for dragging, I like to have, you know, my hands this way. But for this way, it means I have to go like shorter distances, if that makes sense. Instead of, you know, doing long this way, for here, if I want to do that same scratch beat, I have to go shorter. So that's just my first impression on scratching on it, but I'll keep going with it. I'm gonna try to practice crabs now on the fader. Yeah, see, it's a little bit different because I'm used to having my crabs like super, like small increments of the fader. I like to feel my crabs like very, very sensitive. I know there's guys that like to move their whole wrist when they're doing this. And with an innovator, like I said, I'm used to having those short cut times. I know with the innovator, because I got used to it from down to the Rane 56. They've worked with all the mixes up until now. I know Rane and hey Patrick, what up Patrick? There, he's saying it right now. Innovator has a PNP2 available for the one. Wait until you get the PNP2 in there. Really kills it. So good to hear. And like I said, just practicing my crab scratches. I'm so used to doing short crab scratches, and yeah, I can't even hear my crabs on here. So if I was to buy this controller, I would definitely want to upgrade to an innovator, just for that reason that if I'm scratching, and again, I mean, you don't have to, it's just for my personal liking. I always like putting an innovator on my stuff. It's for that reason that, I'm at a corporate gig, wedding or whatever. Sometimes I just want to, scratch or whatever. There's parts that you want to scratch into it, and you want to hear those, those scratches you practice so hard for. If you want to get down and start scratching, I would want to have it sound pretty good. And I've had mixed reviews about the Mag 4. Mag 4 for me wasn't it. It still doesn't beat Innovator. So there you go. Patrick said, hashtag we the best. That's right, Patrick. You are the best. Yeah, I can't even hear my crab scratches. I do. I mean, I'll be able to hear them if I really put some more effort and more wrist movement. Yeah, no, I can't hear it. Now here's the drag movement I was talking about. You have to have smaller movements on the platter. Yeah, I can't even. I mean, I like the whole build. It's just that fader, man. That's the only thing that has gotten my big kink with it, is the fact that, I don't know what they did there to the fader. I think more of it because it has to do with big magnet it has inside of it. Well, I should say a smaller magnet. And they didn't go into a form of, how the Pioneer has their own, those Magville faders where it's a little bit more specific. I wish they would have just teamed up with Innovator and just made their own faders for them, because that would have been great. I would have literally bought the controller right away if I knew I had an Innovator, but I think that's one of the reasons too, why I kind of just faded back and just waited, because I want a Rane 1 with an innovator. And sadly, I shouldn't say sadly, but due to, the pandemic, it's a little bit harder to find products or to develop stuff. And I know they're working hard over at Innovator to get this product out there. And, with a lot of that stuff, especially Innovator CEO, is over in Taiwan, I believe, or Japan. I can't remember where he's from, but I know he's working hard on it. He's got to manufacture, distribute it, and with the pandemic, it's just going to take a little bit longer. So it gives me enough time to save some money to buy the controller. But yeah. Yeah, it definitely feels a little bit weirder because of the fader. So I'm gonna leave it at that. And if you guys have any questions, again, just hit me up. Kind of wanted to stick under an hour. Oh, you do have them now. I'm sorry, I did not know that. Patrick is saying that they do have them now in small batches. So if you're out there trying to look for an innovator, reach out to them, and for sure they'll get you an innovator, because they sell out quick, man. I'm telling you, if the Rane 1 sells out quick, they're gonna sell out as well. I know when I tried getting the innovator for the Rane 72, yeah, you had to wait a while. But that's good to hear, man. All right, well, this is it. Thank you guys for sticking around. Again, if you guys have any questions, please reach out to me through the Facebook group. Again, thanks to Lady P who's in the house. This is her controller. She ended up getting pretty early, so big ups to her for doing that. Kyle, he's back there doing stuff. Official employee of Big Bang. Big shout out to them. They ended up, providing us with the stage and the live stream platform here so we can do this. So thank you guys again. If you haven't followed the group, please make sure you follow it on Facebook. Rane 170. It is an awesome group. Everybody. I try to keep it clean. I try to keep it, moderated as good as I can. I do need moderators because the fact that a lot of people are joining the group. There's some stuff that they're trying to post that I don't agree with, but so yeah. All right, I'm out, and thank you guys out very much.